record on the computer. So yeah, welcome everybody. I'm really excited to welcome Robin Pendarias here. Robin is a professional organizer, someone I've personally known for quite a lot of years now, for various different reasons, and I've had the pleasure of having and hiring Robin to help me with my organization, and I must say it's made a significant difference to my experience of my living space, and how comfortable I feel working and living in my office, and also in our apartment with my wife. So my intention for inviting Robin is to really help the group understand a little bit more about what a professional organizer can do for you, and how it works, how they operate, um, and so that you might benefit from this incredible service, because I think it is really something that folks with an ADHD style brain can massively benefit from. I personally did, and I really I think it's a win-win that for sharing Robin's services and expertise with the group, and also to say that she's really nice and really non-judgmental and easy to work with. She will not be surprised by your mess at all. So yeah, I'd just like to welcome Robin, and maybe you can just introduce yourself a little bit. There's anything I missed out?
Hi, everybody. My name is Robin Pendarias, as Mark said, and I have been working as a professional organizer here in Paris for the past 15 years. And I'm an American married to a French man, so I am bilingual, or as bilingual as I'm ever going to be. And I think you won't be surprised to know that a lot of my clients do have ADHD, whether it be men or women. And like Mark said, I really found that it's almost more of a necessity than a luxury, actually, the work that we do together on a regular basis or just one-off. So I am going to talk a little bit about workspace and offices and paperwork, because I also do space organizing, but I found that with people with ADHD that their workspace is vital. And a lot of things that go on there are really very, very important. So in terms of what the benefits are of working with a professional organizer, there are three: saving time, saving money, and saving your sanity.
Yes.
The first one.
I'll vote for that one.
Yes, awesome. The first one would be saving time. I'm sure that Mark could attest to this, that if you pick up a piece of paper and you don't know exactly what to do with it, you might be fumbling around and deciding, how can I pay this bill on internet? Or what is this piece of paper? Is this important? And you could end up getting very distracted and going down a rabbit hole, as Mark likes to say. And if you work with somebody who will keep you on track and help you prioritize what the tasks are and then how the process goes, it makes it a lot more efficient. So you save time for that. Another big one is saving money. Not only would you save money if you work with a professional organizer, because you won't be losing things, or you won't be buying a new pair of scissors because you know where it is, or you won't have to purchase office supplies because you know where they are. So that's a money saver. But more importantly, with your paperwork, it is a money saver, because if you can't get your hands on a bill that you were supposed to pay and then it's late, you're going to lose money. Or if you can't find a piece of paper that says that you have taxes to pay, then you could be in big financial trouble as well too. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, or losing checks of people have sent to you. There's lots of different.
One. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And so the third one that really resonated with Mark and a lot of people, saving your sanity. I would say that that working, I believe the benefit of working with coaches in general, it allows you to do what you do well. And if you have a weakness as opposed to a strength, well, then get help from other people. And so that's the idea behind this kind of house therapy, or this kind of coaching and professional organizing that I actually do with people. I don't just coach them through it. So the benefit of saving your sanity is to know where things are as much as possible, be able to put your hands on it. And if you take something out or you walk away with a piece of paper or an object, well, then you can put it back so that you can find it again. So it's very empowering, actually. And to be able to complete a task like that, find something when you need it, put something back when you're for next time, just eliminates a lot of stress and anxiety, I think, in people's everyday lives. I'm sure you would agree, Mark.
Yeah. I mean, if I can talk a little bit, share a little bit about my experience, because when I hired Robin, and it was a while ago now, I've forgotten how many, it was a couple of years ago, possibly.
Maybe
But
five, 6
no,
years ago.
well, it was for this space here.
Ah, that was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and because it was a mess, I hadn't really got any structure, and there was stuff I had piles of papers, and it was, I really struggled to know where things were. I had more and more clients I was working with, and like putting where would they go, and invoice. It was just a mess, and so I knew I was wasting time. I knew I was losing things, missing. It was stressful to be in the environment, to try and work in the environment. It wasn't enjoyable at all. And so I really wanted to make my life easier, and knew that I couldn't do that myself. I had to create the structure, and I knew that I couldn't do that myself. And that's why I called upon Robin to come for 2 days. We came of like, it was a full weekend, and we really threw a lot of stuff out, and we created the filing systems, and it was hard work to do it, but I'm glad I had Robin here with me to really help guide me, and keep me on track, and not to get sort of lost in a rabbit hole of, like I sometimes can do, on one little piece, and sort of forget the overall process. So no, it was well. I'm so glad I did it. It made it, and I benefit every day from the structure that we've created, and I can now put things back. I know where things go, and I've started to develop. Okay, I know to buy a new folder, stick a label on the folder, and that I've developed new behaviors of like organization that I never really had before, because I never really knew how to do it very well.
That's an important piece of the puzzle, because when you change the system around you, the physical space, then you're able to change those habits, and you're able to improve your habits. Otherwise, you just kind of go around in circles, and you don't know where to start. You don't know where the beginning is, or where the end is, or where the middle is, and it can be confusing.
Yeah,
And
having the existing structure of filing cabinets, filing files with labels on them. It's like, oh, I just need to do another file and just stick a label. It's like it was easy for me to add into the system.
you're a good student. So what Mark and I did, we did it together in his home. And so first I went to see him, and we did a free consultation, which I do with all of my clients. I've been doing that more and more virtually as well, too, online. And then Mark and I worked together for 5-hour increments. In the beginning, I had clients and we would work for 6 hours, and that was just too much for clients. So 5 hours is basically the limit, especially for people with ADHD, in terms of their concentration. And I also work virtually to help people, and that's 2, maybe 3 hours maximum as well. At the end of the recording, you're going to see my rates and my contact details if you're interested to know a little bit more about the process of working with a professional organizer.
Yeah.
So Mark, maybe you could talk about the space behind you.
Do you want to share a few little tips that maybe this just so basically I've got various different coaching areas. I've got one for golf, and I've got one for sort of health and wellness. So I've got books that are separated out into the different sections, one for just general coaching, one for health and wellness, and one for golf. And then again, I've got resources. Golf stuff's over here, and then the coaching stuff and health and wellness stuff is over here. I've got more things down on the bottom that are more like old clients, invoices, and stuff like that. And then we made use of the various things that I had. I did buy some extra bits, but and Robin was very helpful in like guiding, okay, maybe you might need to buy a few more of those, you know. But she's very good at working with what you do have. So these were like big storage things. So for this one, it's got like golf, putting, and sort of physical training stuff in here. I do photography, so this one's got my camera in it, and sort of things for doing video recording. So she was able to look at the whole space and sort of give me some tips. So Robin, is there anything you wanted to say about what you did?
Yeah, I mean, what I want to say is that, first of all, before we arrived at that, it's
Yeah.
not an end result because it's always a work in progress. But
Yeah.
before we arrived at that result, we took everything off of the shelves.
Yes.
And sometimes we went into details. We looked in files and said, do you really need this?
Yeah.
A lot of people hold on to things just because they don't know what to do with them. And especially people with ADHD with their paperwork, sometimes they don't know what's important and what's not. And that's no reflection on their intelligence. It's just they don't know when they're looking at a piece of paper. So that's an important part of what I do, is to guide people through that, the micro. And then the macro is the bigger space.
Yeah.
So the things that, and Mark touched upon this, I think that are really important, especially with people who have ADHD, is to put labels on everything. And you shouldn't have to open up a folder or a file or a box or something to find out what's in it.
Yeah.
So you could just zoom right in, and also it gives you a visual cue. So you say, oh, I know I've got that somewhere, because you've been looking at the label for a year without realizing it. So that helps label everything. And also, whenever possible, use transparent files or folders. And Mark's got a lot of those around head level that you can see with the labels on them.
Yeah.
That's also really, really helpful, because a lot of times people with ADD, they will, if you can't see it, it's like it disappears into oblivion. So instead of just piling it on a workspace, you have it in a folder with a label on it. You can zoom right in on it.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last thing that I'd like to say about Mark's workspace is that he's got different ways of things. So you have open shelving, which is great because you can just pull something out for easy access as long as it has labels on it. And then they're in boxes and containers on the shelves, not just piled, because we say don't pile, file. Pile, horizontal, file, vertical. Yeah. And also Mark's got those brown wicker baskets behind him for the bigger things that he didn't know where to put. So we used those drawers for the bigger things. Notice it has a label on it as well too. And then what you can't see is down by Mark's right hand, he's got, it's okay.
Oh yeah, underneath here, yeah, I've got a filing cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a filing cabinet. So some people use that for everyday utilities and other kinds of files, but Mark wanted to use that just for his clients. So he separated a category. The filing cabinet is just for my clients. Yeah. And then he's got the names of all the clients there. And it makes it much more manageable also too, if he wanted to declutter, if he didn't want to work with a client anymore, if he wanted to add another client, you just add another file in the filing cabinet because the system is already there. So you can kind of, make it work for you. And that's what I like to do, is work with people to make the space work for them.
Yeah. And I guess it varies a lot depending on the person as to what you end up doing with them, how sort of advanced they are. There'll probably be people more sophisticated than me, and then others who will be less sophisticated than me, and that's all okay. It doesn't matter, does it? It's just as long as you're moving things along for it to be more organized than it was before.
Absolutely. And more organized and more efficient means less stress.
Yeah, exactly.
For everybody.
I think that's the thing that we don't realize. We just put up with the stress, don't we? We just like, oh, this is how it is, but it's a niggle constantly, and I must admit, I was surprised at the difference it made to me to have a more tidy, more organized work area, so thank you, Robin, for your services. And I encourage you all to, if it's something that appeals to you, I'm just going to share my screen and pick out Yeah, it's that one, isn't it? No, that's not that one. Where is it? Shall I pull it out? There it is. Hold on a second. Share screen. Where is it gone? Oh, there it is. Share. Okay, so there you can see. Oh, no, you can't. Yes, you can probably. There's Robin's.
I can see that, Mark, so
Yeah,
you're
there's
pretty sure.
Robin's information on there with a phone number and her rates at the bottom. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that and found that useful. And thank you, Robin, for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you very much, Mark, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. So let me just sign off. Thank you. Stop.